Councilmember Warren. Mayor Hargis.
Are there any additions to the agenda?
No, ma'am, there's not.
This is time.
Continue with no verbal confirmation.
Can they type in the chat? Can you guys type in the chat that you're there?
Can you hear me?
There,
Yes.
now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me now as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right. This is a time for citizens' comments. 3 minutes a person. Comments will be allowed on matters of interest or concern to citizens, except items to be considered at tonight's meeting that include time for citizens' comments. Please state your name and address, please.
I'm Michelle McGraw, and I'm Cody and Jackson McGraw, and I am, my address is 6007 County Road 77 in Roggen, Colorado. We are here representing the Little Rebels Wrestling Club. We are here tonight to ask for a donation from the town of Hudson for $500 to support the club. Do you guys have anything to say?
Please support us.
Thank you. Yes. Good. Do you have anything else to add? Do you enjoy the club?
Yeah.
Apparently I have some shy kids, so please consider donating to the club. We would, we're very active in the community and serve Hudson, Keensburg, Roggen, spill over into Brighton, Fort Lupton area as well. I've been on the board for several years now, and it's just a great addition to, a healthy lifestyle and getting the kids active.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you would like to make a motion in a second, you can do that this evening. You don't have to reschedule.
Go ahead and make a motion for it.
If you'd like to
Yeah.
fill that request this evening.
Yes. So I would like to make a motion to donate $500 to Little Rebel Wrestling.
I second.
It's been first and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Chavez.
Yes.
Councilmember Stadler. Yes. Councilmember Hammack.
Yes.
Councilmember Warren.
Yes.
Councilmember Knopf.
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Good evening,
Hello.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem and members gathered virtually and in person here in this beautiful building tonight. My name is Troy Whitmore. I'm with United Power. I'm the Government and Regulatory Relations Officer for your electric cooperative. And we didn't get to come to you last year, at least I don't think we did, to present our patronage capital check to you and to submit our annual franchise report that I'm sure Guy will be pouring over for hours tomorrow. There is an electronic thumb drive here, 4 copies should the council and the mayor want to go over those. But we've tried to make a tradition to get to all our municipalities in our service territory to say thank you, to present the capital credit check, and just give you a very brief overview of state of affairs of United Power. So with that, I thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and demonstrate what we like to call the cooperative difference. As you all know, United Power is an electric company, but we are operated as a cooperative. Although we provide electricity to homes and businesses like a traditional utility, we're actually owned by the people who purchase our product, and we call them members. And we are governed by an 11-member board elected directly from the membership that we serve. Our 900 square mile service territory is quite diverse. It extends from the mountains of Coal Creek and Golden Gate Canyon down to along the I-25, Highway 85 corridor, Carbon Valley region to the west of here, and then out to more rural areas near Brighton and Hudson and Keensburg, and then stretches back to the west to suburban areas in North Thornton and North Commerce City. At the end of the month of June, we energized our 100,000th meter. And I practiced to saying that 100,000th meter. It's not easy to say. So we'll be announcing who that is here in the next couple of weeks. So it's kind of a neat occasion for us. Like this entire area, we're growing rapidly, and we appreciate participation of all the folks in our service territory, but tonight especially here in Hudson. We serve you as a not-for-profit electric cooperative. That means we want to provide our electricity at the lowest cost possible. If there are any excess earnings, we call them margins, and we allocate them back annually to our members. And as our cash position allows, our board elects to retire those margins and return them to our members in the form of capital credit checks or refunds. And that's why I'm here today. In 2021, the board chose to retire $5.5 million, which was allocated among our membership from our oldest members to even our newest members, so that all of our customer members get to experience a capital credit refund or a benefit on their bill, and to help understand a little bit about the cooperative way of serving folks with electricity. So here in Hudson, you have 14 accounts with United Power, including your wastewater treatment and reverse osmosis plants, pumping stations, and this beautiful building, the town hall. Additionally, we serve 746 more meters in Hudson through homes and businesses in your community. Since 1997, we have been able to return more than $40,000 in capital credits to Hudson, and that includes the $2,705.15 that I am delivering tonight. So we just want to tell you we appreciate the opportunity to serve you. We enjoy having you as a member of United Power, and I really love my commute to this building. This is the shortest drive I have from my home since I lived that way, just a few miles. I remember being here for the opening and looking at these remarkable LED lights. I hope they've served you all well. They're cool, and it's a beautiful building. Congratulations. One added note, I know some of you are familiar, at least Guy is for sure, and perhaps a few of you, that I lost my community affairs representative, Jay Mendoza, back in April, late April. He left our company to pursue much the same role at another cooperative utility to the north. So a big loss. I did not enjoy that day when I got notice of his departure, because he's done such a great job for this community and several others nearby. The good news is we're getting very close to replacing that position with a very competent individual that will step back into those shoes for Jay, and I'll always be around as well. I'm thinking the interim is not going to be that much longer, but Guy knows how to get a hold of me or anybody else, and I have a couple other reps that can step in if you have any other questions. So we should have that position filled, and you'll have your own rep again to serve this part of our growing service territory. So I just want to let you know that. So any questions?
Well, you and I have talked about, you've been in communication with Allo, or Allo's been in communication with you about what they're
Yes.
going to need from you for their project.
Yes, yeah, thank you, sir, for bringing that up. Yeah, we had I wouldn't say all hands, but a large meeting of our staff with principals from Nebraska and in the Midwest that came in, including the CEO, to kind of understand what they're planning on doing. They're going to be very active in our service territory and beyond. I understand they've signed with Greeley to provide some services. I know they're very interested in here in Firestone and a couple of other spots. We're off to a good start with them, and we want to keep it that way. So we need to work cooperatively. I think they're good actors, and we'll be fine, and hopefully provides the citizens a good alternative service for internet or other things. So yes. Anything else? Okay. There's the check. I don't think I need probably my notes or the agenda, because I bet he has one in front of him. And there's the report. Thank you. Now, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Thank you. Consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to read over the consent agenda? Any questions? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Make
Aye.
a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Been first and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Hammack,
Yes.
Councilmember Stadler,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Knopf,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Yes. 2, general business, public hearing resolution 2122, a resolution enacting a supplemental budget and appropriation for the 2020 budget of the town of Hudson. I would like to open the 2020 budget supplemental appropriation at 6:11 PM. Will the clerk please state the purpose of the hearing?
a hearing for the purpose of receiving comment on supplemental appropriation for fiscal year 2020 budget. This was posted in the June 25th edition of the Greeley Tribune.
I will first recognize the town manager to give a presentation and respond to the questions of the council members. I will then recognize members of the audience to speak to the council members regarding the supplemental appropriation for fiscal year 2020 budget.
Thank you, ma'am. As we've discussed, starting last year, you were going to go over in a few items in your budget. And we waited until now to do the supplemental, so we had the audited numbers, the complete numbers. A supplemental appropriation is a tool that municipalities use to appropriate more money for a budget as situations arise. It is in your charter for the increase or reduction of appropriations. And so go over with what we're looking here. Fund 75, that's a typo. It's Fund 70. I apologize. So we need to change that on the resolution. That's your water fund. 446,000 is what we talked about last year, where you got hit in 1 year with 2 very large capital expenditures. One was the water pump that you're putting in. That's about 2 years behind schedule and about 30% over budget. And then the other one was the very large Southeast Water Project expenditure at the beginning of the year. So that's what necessitates that supplemental. Fund 60 is that covered mainly vehicle purchases for the police. One thing noticed about that fund is the revenue in that fund came about $100 and some odd thousand short, mainly because that's what you get a use tax off of building permits. And in 2020, you had no building permits pulled because of COVID. So you saw a drastic reduction in the revenue in that fund. And then Fund 10 is your general fund, and that's largely with the actions taken to work towards 24/7, 365 coverage for police. So right there in 2 months, it was, just as an example, 14,000 in laptops, 5,000 in LiDAR, body cams, portable radios, tasers, adds up pretty quick as you're trying to outfit an organization. Right now, your fund balances are extraordinarily healthy. You have nearly $10 million in the bank, which is up about $3 million from where you were this time last year. These have been spent. They were, the one that really kind of gets in my craw a little bit is the water one. I am not happy with our engineering firm and how they've handled this, so I think that's a conversation we have to have with them. But anyway, I'll be able to answer any questions as necessary.
I have a quick one. Are we fully staffed with all the police officers that we originally intended to hire when we upped the budget and have the 24-hour coverage?
We
that we have
are
discussed?
one right now. They're going through their last phases of testing and everything's looking good, psychological testing.
Okay, right.
And then we just, one just came in today for a tour and wants to apply.
Okay,
Both those are quality officers. And so hopefully that's going to get us to where we need to go.
okay.
have-
So as of now, we're not
No,
fully
we're
staffed
getting,
though.
no, we're getting,
Okay,
but we're definitely aiming that direction.
okay,
And we've washed out 1 or 2 since then. It just
Okay.
didn't cut it with us.
okay. That was all I had.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a presentation? Do any of the council members have any remaining questions of staff on this matter?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Guy, you said you're not happy with the engineering firm. What's our recourse with them?
So I talked to their rep 4 weeks ago. They're bringing in 2 water people that don't have a lot of experience. That bothers Hunter and I think what we're doing is we're gonna have another conversation with them. And then I think we need to issue an RFP just to see where the market stands with other potential engineers. You've had Northern now for almost a decade, I think, Hunter. You know how long we've had Northern?
Yeah, 9 years or so.
And when you first engaged with Northern, you engaged with the 2 principals who have been your basic engineers since that time. In fact, the firm was named after them. Northern took them over. They're retiring. So you're losing a ton of institutional knowledge. And they were bringing in engineers that are pretty green, and it makes me kind of nervous. I like engineers with gray hair. So I think that's the answer to your question, Daniel, is I'm going to have another conversation with them. But I've already drafted an RFP if I don't think that conversation goes well, but that's where I'm heading with this.
Do we have any contractual obligations to keep them on?
No, but they have told us have not raised their rates in a decade and want to talk to us about it, which is another good reason for us to go out in the market and see where we stand. Even if we stay with them, I think about every 5 to 7 years, you kind of go out and look in the market, and you're at a decade. So, and it was worth staying on while we had 2 people who had institutional knowledge because we have a quirky system. But if they're going to be bringing on green people and trying to recoup a decade of lost funds from the town, I think that's a pretty good reason to go see where we fit in the market.
I agree. And then I had one question in regards to the police budget. Do we have all the equipment for the officers we're bringing on already, or is there additional purchases we're going to have to make for those 2 additional officers we don't have yet?
No, we have everything we need. We need to get officers to use them.
Would we have to buy uniforms though? We don't have that because we
Just the-
obviously
just
don't
the
know their
uniforms.
size. Okay.
Yeah, just uniforms. But laptops. Another thing we ran into is some people in the prior iteration of the police department self-wired the cars, which avoided all the warranties and everything. So every time we had to go back and get something done, it was full cost starting over. So that's really a problem.
Who is this somebody?
Problem.
One of your former officers. We're thinking about
Can you sue them or will not sue, but
We
go after
are
them?
thinking
that?
about that. That's why I'm not saying in public who it is. That's a problem. And we hear he's gone on to another agency and done the exact same thing. That's a problem. It fried out a bunch of lights, everything like that.
If he came from a agency before this one, can you contact them and see if the officer did the same thing there? So that way you
We
can
can.
do a pattern of, okay.
I'll look into that.
That's all the questions I had, Guy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are no further questions. I'd like to close the hearing at 6:19 p.m. General Business B, Resolution 21.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
approve it. And in the motion, I'm sorry, if you could amend section 1B to say 70 instead of 75, and that's my mistake.
To entertain a motion, please.
Goodness. I make a motion to approve resolution 21-22, a resolution enacting a supplemental budget and appropriation for the 2020 budget of the town of Hudson with the amended thing for code 70.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thanks.
I second.
It's been first and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammack?
Yes.
Councilmember Knopf?
Yes.
Councilmember Warren?
Yes.
Pro Tem Chavez?
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, General Business B, Section 2123, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between Douglas County, Colorado, and the town for the town's use of the Emergency Vehicle Operations Course.
I have Chief here to answer any questions if you'd like. Basically, this is something we're going to use a handful of times a year to do vehicle training on a closed course with expert trainers, everything like that. But I'll open it to him.
Any particular questions? So everybody knows what the tracks are for, right?
Right.
We can't just anymore, because of liabilities, you can't just find a big parking lot like we used to do and race around and stuff. So this track is a professional track. It has professional trained personnel there. We have one instructor ourselves, and it provides all the equipment. So all the markings are already made on the track. All the cones are provided for us. And everything else is there. It's already set up. So
We use our cars?
what's that?
We use our vehicles?
We will use our vehicles. Of course, we don't use our new vehicles. And we're not doing high-speed pursuit stuff. I no longer authorize the pit maneuver just because of the liability issues, and it's just too dangerous to use. And we just don't have the ability to train and be ruining 2 or 3 cars a year to do those kind of techniques.
No.
You know, we've changed our pursuit policies. We've changed the training. So obviously with this day and age, we have to have good training. We have to have proper training. So the days of taking an internet class or a driver's safety class doesn't cut it for police officers. And it provides them the ability to use their lights and sirens in a pursuit scenario and a professional track where we can maintain the control of the entire scenario, whether it be wet track or dry track. This would be used maybe twice a year. Once is for a slow process, which is parking, backing, parallel driving, things like that, which we can use over here. So as long as I can use the park or something, I'll do that. But for the pursuit driving, we need to be on a actual track system.
Can I ask a question? So since we do have one of our officers as a drive instructor certified, is there a reason we didn't go to Flat Rock?
We
'Cause I
could
know
go
they
to
have a
Flat
drive
Rock,
track.
but Flat Rock is about 30% more expensive for us than the Highlands Ranch range.
Okay.
So that's where so we're driving a little further, but I think we're getting a better track also. It's a little bit larger.
Went further plus overtime.
Well, we will have some overtime, but in the fact that at Flat Rock, we pay an hourly rate, which rushes us, and we have to provide a lot of our own equipment. I don't have anywhere to store 300 cones. And plus, believe it or not, cops run them over and trash them. And
Right.
this track facility maintains those cones, stacks them. We just have to go set them up.
Nice.
So rather than an hourly rate, we can get a full day for half the price of what it would cost us to go hourly rate.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know what they charged. So I was just curious since they were closer.
It's a little over $1,000 a day if we went for the full day.
Okay.
Versus the Highlands Ranch is $400 to $600. And I've been real lucky with a relationship with that range for many years that sometimes they just, if it's a day that nobody else uses, and we try to schedule that Tuesdays or Saturdays, they'll just let us walk on since we have our own instructor.
Nice. That was all I had.
Any other questions? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 21-23, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between Douglas County, Colorado, and the town for the town's use of the emergency vehicle operations course.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Candace, I didn't hear you, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oppose? Motion carried. General business C, communication by the town clerk of submittal of the Well County annexation pursuant CRS 3112107.
So the town has received a request from Weld County for annexation. This would be located on County Road 49, related to the BNSF project.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry?
The town has received a request for annexation from Weld County. It's located on Weld County Road 49, and it's related to the BNSF project.
So let me give you some context. Burlington Northern came to us about a year and a half. So that's her official announcement that she's has to do under state statute. Burlington Northern came to us about a year and a half ago. If they developed this section of road, it is 49 north of 52 for about 200 yards up of their development. They would have to develop county standards, which would mean raising the entire road up about 4 feet, stuff like that, for a road that really doesn't get driven that much. So what we have wanted to do is to see if we can get the road annexed into town so that we can work with them on those requirements for roads. So we're not having them spend a ton of money on a road that isn't going to get used. It really doesn't work for them. They're not going to be able to do it financially. If we can do it this way, then we will have some control, at least over that intersection on that section of road. So that's what we're trying to get accomplished. The original concept a year ago was that the county would deed that section of road to us. Then last fall, we got word that the county switched their process and would like to annex into town, but they still own the road. But since it's in town, we can work with it on the development. So that's where we're at. And it's all to keep Burlington Northern from having to spend $1 gazillion, just $1 million. So that annexation request, the first part will be no less than 30 and no less than 60 days from now. So you'll see the formal resolution of substantial compliance coming in.
All righty.
Any other questions?
So if we approve that annexation, what conversations happen in the next 30 to 60 days?
We don't really have much of a conversation because there's not much to converse over. So we don't really hold the county for anything. They're not really wanting anything for us. It's basically a way for us to be able to get Burlington Northern under our design criteria that we can negotiate with them in this particular instance, because like I said, it's a road kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But the county was just going to hold hard and fast to what they wanted. So
essentially, sorry, go ahead, Kai.
No, it's trying to find a cheaper way for Burlington Northern to get substantial savings on this so they can meet our requirements for what we want in that section of road, XL, decel lanes, and some of the things that we're working on that part of the road.
So it essentially moves that part of the road into our control.
It does, just that
okay.
section. And there was one point in time where we had a conversation of 5 or 6 little drips and drabs and pieces. And about 2 months ago, we said, stop, this is getting crazy. Let's just go back and deal with this one section of road. It's been a year. So this one's been the bane of my existence.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. The questions will go to staff reports.
Okay. Just a quick update. We did issue the RFP for Allo. Allo's taken the lead on that, answering RFP questions. We put out a question and answer sheet today. So those will be coming. And then, as we stated, the town will enter into agreements with whoever we select through this RFP process. But since we don't build broadband systems, Allo is holding our hand through this process as part of our agreement with them. We have finally found a place that sells buses in the state of Colorado that has buses for sale right now. So there is a place in Sedalia that hopefully in the next week or two, I'm going to be able to get down there and take a look at some of the buses that we've been trying to get here. That's basically all I have. Any questions? And it's
I got one question for you, Guy, on regards to Allo. Since that process is basically down the road, what does their completion date look like, or is that still up in the weeds until we find a contractor?
I think we're still safe by saying it's going to be up and lit this calendar year. They were saying Halloween. I think that's optimistic. I think Thanksgiving is reasonable, but I think by this calendar year is certainly doable. Right now, it's a function of getting somebody on board, getting their supplies here, and start hanging wire and digging trenches to put wire in the ground. That's kind of where we're at.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Hillary?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Hunter?
Just a couple of things. The water pump station, we're moving forward with it. Everything's hooked up, running. I've been doing daytime testing. I don't know if anybody's noticed water pressure changes throughout the day.
Mhm.
So we've been playing with that. I'm gonna have to try and get everybody up to speed and trained. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have one of my guys back in time, but next week I'm hopefully gonna make the switch over. I'm nervous about it, but we're gonna do it. I think it's gonna perform fine, but again, I'm nervous about it.
Oh, you can do it. You got it.
Have
Oh, I can make the
confidence.
switch. It's just fingers crossed, everything works on it.
We don't put a
Like-
water heater in orbit, but
Right. You know, and we're going to start out small. I haven't gotten over 63 PSI just playing with it right now. Ultimately, I want to try and shoot for 68 to 70. And that's located at the water plant, so the low part of town. You'll see probably an 8-pound increase across the board throughout town.
Do you have a clue what the average of pressure is out of the faucet that we have now?
It varies through the entire town, anywhere from 40 to, you go out to the prison, they're on a pumping station. They have 80 PSI to 90 PSI out there. But on the gravity system, I want to say the highest we found is our West Lift station behind Love's, and we're at about 65 to 66 right now. So, but you know, like I said, Hudson Hills is 40 to 42. So it'll be a good increase for everybody. It'll be a noticeable increase. We came in Tuesday morning to the park with water gushing everywhere at the fishing pond. Somebody decided to play golf with all the sprinkler heads out there. So that's been a big part of our week this week. And we're very shorthanded due to illness and vacations. And one of my guys, his wife had a baby this morning. So he's going to be out for a little while. And one's up in Montana visiting his mother, and it's been a handful for 3 of us. So we're trying to keep our heads above water. If you guys notice anything, let us know, because we don't have the eyeballs out there right now like we normally do with people driving around. So if you see something, let us know.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple. So I was walking with Bentley to the library yesterday, and that big long sidewalk here by the field over
Yeah.
here. Who cuts those weeds? Because they're overgrown onto the sidewalk and they're like taller
It's
than my waist.
actually the farmer, but we'll run a mower through
Okay.
them when we bring it up here to
I
mow
wasn't
town hall.
sure who was
Yeah,
supposed to cut them. I
it's-
get like the straw and stuff, but the weeds part were like almost bigger than my
Yeah,
waist
we
and
have
overgrown the
some
sidewalk.
agreement with a right of way through there. I can't
Okay.
remember how Joe wrote that. We try not to spray just because he has a wheat crop there.
Okay.
So we'll run a mower through there, get them knocked out.
Okay, no big deal. I was just curious. And then my second question, does the town still spray for weeds between the street and then the gutter, that little strip
Yes,
section?
we're working your way. We started
Okay.
this year out on Hickory, and we're working this way.
Okay, because I tried to pull them, but they
Oh,
are
no,
so
they-
deep rooted in that I
They
can't.
latch into that
pull 'em,
asphalt like
so
crazy. So
I
yeah,
didn't want to get fined or.
yeah,
have
we'll
code
come through, we'll
enforcement come
spray
after
them.
me,
Then like in
so.
your case, I noticed yours are pretty tall. so
Yeah,
we'll
that's
spray
why I
'em
was
and
like, oh no.
Probably
code
2 days later, we'll
enforcement's
come by
gonna
and
get
knock
me.
them down with the weed
Okay.
whacker.
Okay, cool. Thank
So-
you.
But yeah, we're working on your direction.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I had.
I got a quick question for you. Do we have any sort of action plans in place in case making that switch does cause issues?
Yes. That's part of my training with my guys. If this doesn't work, right now, you know, we can always go back to the gravity flow with the tanks. We're going to leave the tanks up, standing and ready for, 2-3 months to make sure everything's working before we go ahead and come to you guys and say, what do we want to do with these tanks? So there'll be times where we'll probably overflow the tanks every so often, just so we're keeping fresh water in them, which is, it takes us about 10 minutes to crack a valve and it'll push new water in, and you'll see water running down the street by your house.
Okay.
But that way we can keep fresh water in there. That way, if we do have to do an emergency switch back, everything's good to go. We'll meet, chlorine limits and
And that's all I had. Thanks, Hunter.
things. Anybody else?
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, thanks.
Jay?
I don't have too much. Obviously, we had the 52 projects opening up now, so unbelievably, our complaint level has gone like to almost nothing. We have a few people that still have issues with trucks and stuff, but that's what it is. We have trucks to go through our highway, so they just have a hard time making that little turn there until the railroad decides to fix their part and fill in little holes and stuff. Other than that, we are hopefully going to be staffed here soon. We've got people going through their process towards the final process. And to answer your question, I think it was Daniel. The only thing we don't have that equipment wise is just uniforms, because I just don't stock it, because some guys are big, some, are a little smaller. So that's the only thing that we wouldn't have is, but all the major equipment we have already ready. That makes sense. Okay.
Awesome. Well, the only question I have for you is how do I get in on that driving course?
Well, I don't.
Bill's non-sequential.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ken? Candace?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Daniel?
I had one quick thing. I noticed that Hudson Hill sign got put in, and I don't think there was any provisions in that plan to put some sort of flowers around that. Is that something that the HOA of Hudson Hills may be able to do, or is that still under something the town would have to do? Because it's kind of an eyesore around that area right now.
So this is Jennifer. It wouldn't be an impossible thing to do. It was not part of the original sign proposal. But if there was some landscaping put in there, we want to know about what landscaping, irrigation, that kind of thing. The way the plat is set up for that phase one is that the HOA actually maintains the properties there while we own them. So it's not part of it, but it's, if you want to come in and talk to us about it, we can talk about it.
Big issue be watering it.
Yeah, that's the issue right now with landscaping out there.
Did that answer your question, Daniel?
Yep, it sure did. You hit the nail on the head when you said the HOA is responsible for maintaining. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I just want to talk about transparency. I'm a little bit confused, or maybe we're not informed enough. But our officer involved shooting in January was, who was supposed to be notified? Because I know that the town, that we weren't notified. The legal team wasn't notified until they were notified. They found out about a month ago. And so I was just curious. I thought we had transparency going on for the town, so shouldn't we all be notified?
We will do so better. Yeah, that was our mistake.
And
But that morning, so I was there 4:30 or 5 o'clock that morning. And we reached out to a CERT team with the county, with the DA, and they hemmed and hawed for hours and decided that they weren't going to show up, that it didn't rise to their level. So the sheriff came in and did an investigation, and that's where it went from there.
Wall County?
Yep.
Yeah, because a cert team only comes in if you actually hit the person. So.
Well, that was kind of our discrepancy, is if it was a weapon discharged or if actually hit a person.
So I guess my question is, why was it kept a secret? That's my big concern. That's something huge, an officer involved shooting.
No, I understand, and we won't do that.
The only reason that it came out is because it hit the news.
Yep.
And so
No, we'll do better. And that was our fault.
Well, I guess I'm not satisfied with that. We probably need something to change the policy.
Okay.
Or I have to be shocked. I don't know why that both of you decided to keep it a secret. And that officer, is he still being our community resource officer? Is that what
Correct,
it is?
yes.
He sure is.
Yep.
If you wouldn't let the legal team know, would he have kept his job?
Oh, yeah, I would have kept him, absolutely. Well, he resigned after the shooting.
And then we hired him back.
We hired him back.
Well, you resigned, but then
Oh.
you told us that he was on reserves, correct?
I don't remember saying that.
That he didn't want to carry a weapon anymore, and you talked to me about being on reserves?
I don't remember that. But
Yeah.
no, he resigned, but then we did bring back his code enforcement.
Hmm.
And right now he is fighting a misdemeanor for the incident that he's pled not guilty to.
So that's why he's not on a job, he's not working right now?
He's working.
There's so many dogs loose every single day, and there's one every day that gets out. So I just wasn't sure if we had
Let us know.
someone still working or not. Well, I'm done letting everybody know, but I just was curious because people complain about it all day. I had to get off the community page because I was tired of seeing dog out, dog out, dog out all day long and nothing being done.
Yeah.
So
Where do these dogs come from?
I don't know where Taz lives. I just know everybody knows Taz by name because they'll put the picture on saying like loose dog and everyone's like, oh, it's Taz again. So I don't
So is it
know.
10 loose dogs? Is it one dog that is
There's a few
constantly
a
out?
day. There's a few a day. So
I guess
It's kind of like there's one every day, and
yeah,
then there's a few others nickel and dime every once in a while.
But real quick, let's go back to what I was talking about. I guess I'm not satisfied. Well, yeah, we'll do better next time. No, I want proof that it's gonna be done better next time.
Okay.
Because keeping secrets does not work, and there's a breakdown in trust when that happens, and I think that's here. It's now. I'm done.
Thank you, Jim. Anything else?
I'm done. Thank you.
Sarah?
no, I got nothing. Just if we can get those loose dogs better taken care of, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to get people to call in. They just post on the page and complain. So I don't know.
It's true.
I just had somebody reach out to me from Farm and Home Lumber that they're having their open house on July 16th from 5 to 8, and just want to see if the town wants to be involved. So I don't know if maybe
When is that?
July 16th from 5 to 8, and that's at the Farm and Home Lumber.
They're having a big event.
Yeah, they're having a big event, so
What was the time?
from 5 to 8,
Nice.
July 16th.
Big sales, I hope.
Yeah, they're having food trucks,
Yeah, I was
activities,
gonna say, I think they have, like,
giveaways.
face painters out there, tons of stuff.
They wanted to invite us, and if we want to get involved, maybe we can have somebody from the police department or something, or fire department, somebody. That's all I have. Okay. Any other questions? Motion adjourned, session adjourned at 6:44 PM.